Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that often shouts at us to prove our worth, to demand validation, to make others see us. But let me tell you, this true value is not something you force, it is something you radiate. It begins quietly, not with loud proclamations, but with subtle, powerful actions that speak louder than any words ever could. Let's start with the truth value is not given, it's recognized. And recognition only comes when you've built a foundation so strong within yourself that no one can overlook it. Today, I want to share with you 10 silent actions, 10 quiet but bold practices that will not just make men value you, but that will elevate how you see yourself. These actions will teach you to embody the kind of authenticity, courage, and grace that commands respect without ever demanding IT. Boundaries are not just rules you set for others, they are declarations of your self-worth. They say, I know who I am and I know what I deserve, yet many of us struggle with boundaries because we fear rejection or conflict. We worry that saying no will make others think less of us, or worse, leave us altogether. But let me tell you this, a life without boundaries is a life without balance, and balance is where respect begins. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away, it's about teaching them how to honor the space where you thrive. Imagine your life as a garden. Without boundaries, anyone can walk through, trampling your flowers and disrupting the harmony you've worked so hard to create. But when you put up a fence, not to block people, but to guide them, you protect that sacred space while still inviting meaningful connection. Let's be clear, boundaries are not selfish. They are one of the most selfless things you can do because they allow you to give your best self to the people and the world around you. A boundary doesn't say, I don't care about you. It says, I care about me and I care about us enough to define what's healthy. But how do we master the art of boundaries? It begins with clarity. You must first know what you value, what you will accept, and what is non-negotiable for your peace and well-being. This self-awareness is the cornerstone of every boundary you will ever set. If you don't know where your line is, how can you expect others to respect it? Once you've identified your boundaries, the next step is communication. Here's the beauty of it. You don't have to explain, justify, or apologize for your boundaries. A simple, firm no is enough. If someone asks why, you can respond with kindness. This is what I need to feel balanced right now. Notice that you're not blaming them or making them the issue. Instead, you're affirming your needs and showing them the path to honor you. Now, let's talk about the silent strength of boundaries. Often, the most powerful boundaries are the ones you enforce without saying a word. For example, if someone consistently disrespects your time, you don't have to argue or plead for their understanding. You simply stop overextending yourself. Your actions, your refusal to prioritize them over your own peace will send a louder message than words ever could. And here's the magic of boundaries. When you enforce them, you naturally draw in people who respect you and repel those who don't. It's like raising the frequency of your life. Men and people in general value those who value themselves. If you're willing to compromise your peace to please others, they will sense it. But if you stand firm in your worth, they'll rise to meet you or they'll leave, and their absence will be a gift. Remember, boundaries are a practice. You won't always get it right, and that's okay. Each time you enforce a boundary, you're sending yourself a powerful message, I matter. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and the respect you command both from yourself and others becomes undeniable. So don't fear boundaries. Embrace them. Let them be the quiet, steady drumbeat of your self-respect. And watch as they transform not just how others value you, but how you value yourself. Authenticity is one of the most powerful yet understated ways to command respect and value. To show up authentically is to walk into every situation grounded in who you are, unapologetically. It's about being real, being vulnerable, and embracing all the parts of you flaws, and all without performing or pretending to fit someone else's expectations. But let's be honest, showing up authentically is not easy. It takes courage because at its core, authenticity requires vulnerability. It means putting down the mask and allowing others to see you as you truly are. And that's scary, isn't it? What if they don't like the real you? What if they judge you or reject you? These fears can lead us to hide behind personas we believe are more likable, more acceptable. But here's the truth: people might be drawn to your mask, but they will never connect deeply with it. Real value and connection come only when you have the courage to show up as your true self. To show up authentically, you must first know who you are. This requires self-awareness, a willingness to explore your values, your beliefs, your passions, and even your insecurities. Authenticity begins with understanding what matters most to you. What do you stand for? What lights you up? What drains you? When you know these things, you can begin to live in alignment with your truth. Now, authenticity doesn't mean oversharing or putting all your emotions on display for the world to see. It's not about saying, here's all of me, take it or leave it instead. It's about being intentional in how you show up. It's about bringing your full self to the table in a way that honors both you and the people around you. For instance, when you're in a relationship or building connections, authenticity means speaking up when something doesn't feel right instead of pretending you're okay. It means expressing your needs even when it feels uncomfortable. It's saying, this is who I am and this is what I need to thrive without fear of losing someone's approval. And here's the beauty of it: when you're authentic, the right people will value you for who you truly are, not for who you're pretending to be. Authenticity also has an energy, a magnetism that cannot be faked. When you walk into a room confident in your identity, people sense it. You don't need to be the loudest voice or the most glamorous presence. Your authenticity speaks for itself. It draws people in because it's rare. In a world where so many are trying to be something they're not, being real is refreshing. But let's not ignore the risks of authenticity. There will be times when showing up authentically means facing rejection. Not everyone will value or understand the real you, and that's okay. Authenticity is not about being liked by everyone. It's about being true to yourself and attracting the people who genuinely value you. The rejection you may face is not a reflection of your worth. It's a sign that those individuals were never aligned with your truth to begin with. So how do you practice showing up authentically? Start small. Begin by being honest about how you feel in situations that matter. When someone asks for your opinion, give it truthfully, not in a way that you think will please them. Practice saying no when something doesn't align with your values. These small steps build the muscle of authenticity. Another key is self-compassion. Being authentic doesn't mean you'll always get it right. Sometimes you might catch yourself slipping back into old patterns of people pleasing or wearing a mask. That's okay. Give yourself grace and gently return to your truth. Remember, authenticity is not about perfection, it's about intention. Here's what happens when you show up authentically: the right people, especially men, will value you for the depth and integrity you bring. They'll see that you are not trying to impress them or mold yourself to fit their desires. Instead, they'll respect the courage it takes to be real. Authenticity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful connection. When you show up authentically, you give others permission to do the same. You create a space where vulnerability and honesty are not weaknesses, but strengths. And in that space, true respect and value flourish. So take off the mask, step into your truth. Let your authenticity be the silent, unshakable foundation of your value. The world doesn't need more polished performances, it needs you. Emotional regulation is the quiet art of controlling how you respond to the world around you. It's the ability to remain composed and balanced, even when life feels like it's spinning out of control. When you master this skill, you become someone who radiates calm, confidence, and strength, and those qualities silently command respect. Let's face it, emotions are powerful. They can be messy, overwhelming, and at times completely consuming. Anger, frustration, disappointment, and even joy, when left unchecked, can lead to impulsive reactions that don't serve you. And while emotions are natural and necessary, how you respond to them determines the level of control you have over your life and how others perceive you. To master emotional regulation, the first step is awareness. You cannot regulate what you don't recognize. Pay attention to your triggers. What situations, people, or words ignite strong emotions in you? Is it criticism, rejection, feeling overlooked? Once you identify these triggers, you can begin to take back your power, because awareness shifts you from reacting to responding. Responding rather than reacting is the hallmark of emotional regulation. When you react, you're driven by the heat of the moment. Reacting is impulsive. It's the quick retort, the sharp word, or the emotional outburst. But responding is thoughtful. It's the ability to pause, breathe, and choose your next move. That pause, however brief, is where your power lies. It's the moment where you decide, I will not let this situation control me. One of the most effective tools for mastering emotional regulation is mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches you to stay present in the moment without being swept away by your emotions. When you feel anger rising, instead of immediately acting on it, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Is my reaction aligned with who I want to be? This kind of self-reflection may seem small, but it creates monumental shifts in how you handle life's challenges. Another key to emotional regulation is recognizing that not every situation requires a response. Silence is often your greatest ally. There is strength in holding back and allowing your emotions to settle before deciding how to proceed. Imagine someone says something hurtful or dismissive. Your initial reaction might be to snap back or defend yourself. But when you pause and choose silence instead, you send a powerful message: I will not be baited. I am in control. Emotional regulation doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It's not about pretending you're fine when you're not. Suppressing emotions only leads to resentment and eventually explosions of frustration. And instead, emotional regulation is about acknowledging your emotions, allowing yourself to feel them, and then deciding how to express them in a way that aligns with your values. For example, let's say someone disappoints you. Instead of lashing out in anger or bottling up your feelings, emotional regulation might look like this: taking a moment to process your disappointment, clarifying how you feel, and then calmly expressing your thoughts to that person. When you communicate from a place of emotional regulation, you're more likely to be heard and understood. Men and people in general are drawn to those who exude emotional stability. When you can navigate difficult situations with grace and composure, you become someone others trust. You become the calm in the storm, the steady hand in moments of chaos. That kind of presence is magnetic, and it commands respect without ever needing to ask for it. But let's be clear, mastering emotional regulation is not about perfection. There will be moments when your emotions get the better of you, and that's okay. What matters is that you learn from those moments. Reflect on what triggered you and how you can respond differently next time. Emotional regulation is a practice, not a destination. One of the greatest benefits of emotional regulation is the freedom it brings. When you're in control of your emotions, you're no longer at the mercy of other people's actions or words. You stop giving away your power to situations you can't control. Instead, you stand firm, knowing that while you can't control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. And here's the ripple effect. When you master emotional regulation, you inspire others to do the same. Your calm presence encourages others to meet you at your level. Your ability to stay composed sets the tone for the interactions around you. So practice the pause. Breathe through the chaos. Take control of your emotions before they take control of you. Emotional regulation is not just about managing how others see you, it's about mastering how you see yourself. And when you master this silent action, you become a person of strength, resilience, and unshakable value. Self-worth is the bedrock upon which everything else in your life is built. It is the silent force that influences how you walk in the world, how you treat others, and most importantly, how others treat you. When you truly invest in your self-worth, you begin to see your value not through the lens of external validation, but through the clarity of your own belief in who you are. Investing in self-worth isn't about arrogance or self-centeredness. It's about developing a deep, unwavering understanding of your intrinsic value. It's about knowing that your worth is not defined by your accomplishments, your mistakes, your relationships, or even the opinions of others. Your worth is inherent, unshakable, and non-negotiable. But let's be honest, investing in your self-worth is hard work. It requires you to face the parts of yourself you may have neglected, dismissed, or even disliked. It asks you to shed the false beliefs and narratives that have been placed on you by society, family, or even yourself. These beliefs may have told you that you need to be more to be worthy, that you need to achieve, perform, or conform to someone else's standard in order to earn love, respect, or success. Here's the key: self-worth is not something you earn, it's something you affirm. It's a practice, a choice, and a mindset shift. It starts with accepting that you are enough, exactly as you are. You don't need to change your essence to prove your value to anyone. You are worthy because you exist. Your worth is rooted in your humanity, your potential, and your ability to grow. To begin investing in your self-worth, start by changing the way you speak to yourself. The words we use are incredibly powerful. If your inner dialogue is filled with criticism, doubt, or comparison, you're essentially telling yourself that you are not enough. You're undermining your own value before anyone else even has a chance to. But when you start speaking to yourself with kindness, patience, and encouragement, you begin to transform how you see yourself. Take time each day to affirm your value. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a dear friend. When you make a mistake, remind yourself that it's part of growth and learning. When you face challenges, reassure yourself that you have the strength and resilience to overcome them. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality. Speak words that elevate you, not words that diminish your worth. Another powerful way to invest in your self-worth is by setting boundaries, because self-worth is directly tied to how you allow others to treat you. When you value yourself, you'll begin to notice when people cross your boundaries, whether that's through disrespect, manipulation, or simply taking more than they give. And here's the key: you get to decide what you will tolerate. Investing in self-worth means teaching people how to treat you by showing them that your time, energy, and love are precious. This can be difficult, especially if you've spent years pleasing others or allowing them to dictate your worth. But remember, boundaries are a reflection of how much you value yourself. The more you enforce them, the more you demonstrate to the world that you are worthy of respect, kindness, and fairness. Self-worth also involves the courage to walk away from situations or relationships that drain you, belittle you, or fail to honor your value. It takes strength to leave behind people or places that don't align with your sense of worth. And while this can feel painful at first, it's an investment in your own well-being, and it creates space for the people and opportunities that will truly nurture and honor you. When you invest in your self-worth, you also begin to prioritize your needs and desires without guilt. So often we are conditioned to place others first, to serve, to give, and to sacrifice until we have nothing left to offer ourselves. But when you recognize your own worth, you understand that you must put yourself on your own priority list. This doesn't mean being selfish, it means taking care of your body, mind, and soul so that you can show up as your best self in every area of your life. Investing in self-worth also involves letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a subtle form of self-rejection. It tells you that who you are right now is not enough, that you must constantly prove yourself. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist. There is beauty in imperfection. And there is strength in embracing your flaws. When you invest in self-worth, you understand that mistakes, imperfections, and setbacks are part of the human experience, and they don't diminish your value. One of the most powerful ways to invest in your self-worth is to practice self-care. Taking time to nurture yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally is a profound way to reinforce your belief in your own value. Whether it's through exercise, meditation, journaling, or simply taking a walk outside, self-care is a reflection of your belief that you are worthy of time, rest,